Evening, everybody. Tommy Jordan here. Decided to do tonight's video on the news, current news, what's going on right now. I get asked this stuff a lot, and maybe it's just because I'm a dumb Southern boy, but I seem to have a way of breaking things down that people seem to get. So I'm gonna cover just a few of the things that are in today's news that just, quite frankly, are scary. I don't, I don't know. I don't know what kind of world we're going to have. My kids are my age, but just reading the news today, where we stand, and with what we've got coming up in the election in a little over 14 days. I'm gonna start with Syria because as of pretty much this week, we're just not going to do anything in Syria. We're just going to let you know what I mean. Military tactics are off the table. After Russia made their comment the other week, we've just kind of said, hey, but you know what? You cowed us. We're scared. We're not going to do anything. We're just going to let them keep killing people. So, for those of you that don't understand what's going on in Syria, let me back this train up a year or two and just quickly walk you through it. We've been fighting in, well, there's been fighting in Syria, big fighting since 2011. At this point, you're talking 450,000 people dead. Let that sink in a minute. You might as well just say 500,000. I would say it's 50,000 people a year, which is about the average, but because I like to average things out to put them in perspective in my head. But you have to understand that's 200,000 since last year. So it's got worse and worse and worse and worse and worse year after year. Tens of thousands of these people are kids, children, little children. The fact that you can even put two numbers before the comma when talking about killing children and then say we live in a country that stands for what we do, and yet we sit here and agree to do nothing is despicable. Now, I'm not one that believes that we need to be the world's police. This isn't a matter of being the world's police. This is a matter of being human, being an actual human being that gives a shit what happens to the one next to you. You pass a person on the road broke down, you stop and help them. A guy on the job site falls down, or a lady in the store trips and stumbles, you stop and you offer her a hand. You pick them up. You dust them off. You keep on going. Somebody starts murdering 10,000 kids. We do nothing. As of now, you're looking at 6.5 million displaced civilians from Syria. It sounds like a lot, right? Again, let me put things in perspective because I like to wrap my big old head around things and understand them. That's basically the population of Washington State or Massachusetts, Indiana, Missouri, or Tennessee. The entire state. That's if you killed or scared off or made uninhabitable those entire states. Or collectively, that's the cumulative population of Wyoming, Vermont, Washington, D.C., North Dakota, South Dakota, and Alaska. So think about it again. War's been going on for fifth year. You're talking about pretty much emptying Wyoming, Vermont, D.C., North and South Dakota, and the state of Alaska of a single human being. That's how many people are gone, displaced, put out, have to be somewhere else, can't live in their home because either it's on fire, it's knocked down, it's rubble, it's burned up, it's flattened, it's full of dead bodies, whatever. 4.8 million of those are refugees. So I guess if you do that math, it's 1.3 million, they're just probably dead. Well, if you got 450,000 dead and 4.8 million are refugees, where's the other 800,000? I don't really know what that I'm not sure what that figure is because nobody's explained that one to me. But the numbers are still staggering no matter what. So what are we going to do? Obama's got 100 days left in office, thereabouts. He's not going, with the assumption that his plan is for Hillary Clinton to take office, he's not going to do what Bush did to him, for better or for worse. I mean, whether or not Bush should have or not, Obama's not going to leave or start a new war this close to his retirement. He just won't. He doesn't have the balls to. Whether or not he should is another story, but he won't. I firmly believe he won't, and that's sad. Not that I want us to start another war, because God knows we're fighting on enough fronts now. But there, if we have to pick and choose our wars, I vote we pick this one. The military strategists have said we could do cruise missiles. We can sit out there with subs, attack subs, ships, carriers, shipborne rockets, and bomb the shit out of the bad parts of Syria and Assad's regime that we want to. But no. We could choose to arm the Syrian moderates and the Peshmergas and the Kurdish forces with anti-tank weapons that they've been asking for years, or anti-aircraft weapons they've been asking for years. But we're not going to do that. Okay. If you back up a couple years, compare Syria to Libya, because in certain regards they're very, very similar in terms of the backstory. Gaddafi was a dictator that's been there for 42 years. This guy's a dictator that's been there for 40. Well, this family's been, the Assad family took over Syria, I think in 1970, which, if I do my math real quick, is 46 years they've ruled that country. And, Gaddafi was nuts. This guy's kind of genocidal. I'm just saying it bears a lot of similarities to Libya and what went on there. And NATO agreed to step into Libya when 10,000 people were going to get displaced. Holy crap, 10,000 people. There could be 10,000 people put out in a country that has a population of about 6.5 million. We've already lost 500,000 in Syria. And nobody's done shit. 50 times the threshold for assisting Libya with its liberation. And I use that word loosely with big fat bunny quotes. But again, 500,000 people dead in Syria, we do nothing. So I did some math, because I like math. I was a math major in college. And I like to just pare things down to basic numbers that I can crunch in this noggin. So the UN right now wants $3.2 billion from sponsor countries to help what they're assuming is around 13.5 million people that need humanitarian aid. All because of Syria. I'm not really sure if that's, I'm not sure where they get the 13.5 million people number from, but again, I just did that math. If you break that down, that's $237 a pop. What is the UN or anybody else going to do with $237 per person? I can think of a lot better ways to spend, what do you want? $3.2 billion. We could drop that many rockets on Assad's tank brigades or Russia's air defense systems. That wouldn't cost $3 billion. And that would solve the problem literally overnight. That's just me thinking. So currently, you have another 4.5 million people in Syria right now that are in incredibly hard to reach spots. Another 400,000 that are in places that they literally have nothing. They have no food, no clothes, no shelter, no water, no aid. Nothing can get to them. They're locked down by either Assad's forces, Russia's forces, ISIS forces, somebody's forces. There's about 500,000 people that have no access to anything. They're just pretty much going to die. We just have to accept that. They're out there by themselves. They're going to die. They have no roads left to get to them. Nobody cares. It's just a sad place to be. And then we get ISIS, you know, because we're all about fighting ISIS. And these guys, the only guys that have accomplished shit in Syria is ISIS. That's sad. So, bravo, ISIS. You did something no one else can. And I'm not kidding. These guys came in 2014 into Syria, shut up and pretty much said, hey, y'all, we're going to set up base and live here. This is going to be our new spot. This is going to be our caliphate. We're going to just caliphate up in here, y'all. Can y'all just go on about yourself? And, you know, because why not? I guess it's a great place. Let's just go there because we're kicking their ass out of Iraq, apparently. So not only does ISIS manage to fight the rebels, which is us and the good guys that we're trying to arm, rival jihadists from the Nusra Front, which is pretty much a little sister of Al-Qaeda, and the Syrian government, and the Kurdish forces, all at once. They're fighting on 4 fronts. Literally fighting on 4 fronts. And the fact that they're still there means they're doing it successfully. As far as I know, they're the only force to do anything successful in Syria against anybody. That's sad. We're running second string to ISIS at this point in terms of accomplishments in that country. So, now, yeah. And now we're in, I have a note here, proxy war, talk about, yeah. Now we're in a total proxy war. So we're the voice for the people of Syria. How we got nominated, I have no idea. Why the UN itself or the NATO countries aren't sticking up more or doing more, I don't know. We're apparently the voice of the good guys. Russia's the voice of the bad guys. We had our little... Our truce. Let's have a truce. So we're going to have a ceasefire and just stop shooting everybody for just a little bit earlier in 2016. While we're doing that, Russia rolls troops in. They're like, hey, well, they're not looking and shooting anybody. Park that shit over here. No, bring some more of them in. And some of those. I want some tanks. Tanks look good. Bring tanks. And in fact, bring tanks and anti-tanks. How about that? Bring all that. The whole thing. Bringing it all around in here. So, Assad has Putin doing all his talking. Tehran is giving the Assad regime oil, money, lines of credit, weapons. Russia is actively performing air campaigns for Assad on his behalf. You know, we're hitting ISIS. Bullshit. You're taking out people that can't defend themselves, but whatever. Putin, never mind. I'm not going to say what I was about to say because my mom might watch this video, and I'm not a Mary King as much as I'd sometimes like to go off on one of his rants. And then, of course, we have Hezbollah. They're by the way, also fighting on Assad's behalf. So let's just understand 6.5 million people displaced, 500,000 dead, tens of thousands of which are kids, fighting literally everywhere. ISIS, Nusra Front, Russia, the Kurdish forces, Peshmerga forces, our small amount of forces that are there training other people, Russia's air defense system, Assad's people. I think I covered ISIS. There's a lot of friggin' fighting going on in Syria in a lot of friggin' places. So now we get to Aleppo. And as of, I think it was October 6th, Russia pretty much said, hey, no more of this. We're going to put in pretty much a no-fly zone here. This is what we're going to do. America, stay out. And America says, no, we're going to come in. We're going to help. We're going to stop these forces. And I had to quote this here. So, Major General Igor Konashkinov. Did I spell that right? Konashenkov. I think I got that right. We're going to just call him Igor. Major General Igor. And I'm going to quote it here. U.S. military planners, I do a horrible Russian, should carefully consider the possible consequences of such action. Okay, could you be more specific, Major General Igor? Today, the Syrian army has effective S-200, S-300, and S-400 BUK air defense systems, which have undergone technical renovation in the past year. That's his way of going, we got these anti-tank things over here, but don't be fooled. I know they look like they were built in 1979, well, because they were. But we done fixed that shit up. It's nicer now. We took the 2 off of it, put a 3 on the side. It's much cooler. Kick your butt, crackers. So yeah, Russia has planted, S-200 and S-300 and S-400 air defense systems all around Aleppo. Basically stating, let me see, did I have that? I remind U.S. strategists, and again, a quote from the Major General Igor, I remind U.S. strategists that air cover for the Russian military bases includes S-400 and S-300 anti-aircraft. Damn it, I can't talk today. The range of which may come as a surprise to any unidentified flying objects. His argument later was Russian air defense troops wouldn't have time to distinguish between U.S. airborne rockets and U.S. airborne jets or fighter planes. So basically, if we fire a rocket, they may accidentally attack a submarine because, they couldn't tell the difference between the thing it came from and the thing itself. Again, they built this shit in 1979, so I guess it's, anything's possible, but somehow I doubt that. They're stupid commies, but they're not that stupid. So basically on October 6th, Russia said, if you try to drop a rocket in here, we're going to shoot down your rockets, and we have the capability to, and we're going to shoot down anything firing them. So they dropped the gauntlet and said, now, I dare you to defend Syria. Konstantin Sivkov, a Russian artillery academy expert, pretty much said, we could take out their air defense system in about 2 days. I mean, we could bomb it off the face of the earth in 2 days. Yes, it's big. Yes, it's powerful. It looks kind of cool. You see these trucks with the radar systems and the anti-missile systems. They look cool. They're older than I am, but they look cool. But yeah, we actually could take them out pretty quick. And pretty effectively, and not really probably lose a single human being in the process. But are we, as a country, willing to chance going to war with Russia for a measly 6.5 million people that have been displaced and 500,000 killed? There was sarcasm there, in case you didn't catch it. Can they kill 500,000 people, and we literally sit with our thumb up our ass and do nothing? The answer is yes. Wow. I'm going to quote Josh Earnest here, who's the White House spokesperson for President Obama, on October 6th. The president has discussed in some details why the military action against the Assad regime to try and address the situation in Aleppo is unlikely to accomplish the goals that many envision now in terms of reducing the violence there. It is much more likely to lead to a bunch of unintended consequences that are clearly not in our national interest. Wow. Do you think if we go over there and blow their shit up, it might result in some unintended consequences? No, brother. It's going to result in intended consequences. They are intended. We know that. We would know that going in. Our military, they know that now. Our generals, our troops, our sergeants, our privates, our corporals, all them boys, they know exactly what the consequences are. And I bet if you asked them, they would do it anyway. Because that's who we are. This is not a matter of being the world's police. This is a matter of going in there and saving 500,000 people or 10,000 kids. Use any one of the facts and figures I've given you. Is it worth saving another 400,000 people? Yes. Hey, Army, would you go over, by the way, they just killed 20,000 children. Would y'all mind going to stop that? Ask the Marines, the Navy. Hoorah, that's a yes. They're good. we'd go. But no. So then we got, but you know, the U.S. has got to save face. So we're going to kick ass in Mosul because that's the new thing right now. We're going to quit talking Syria and we're going to go kick butt in Mosul. Okay. Again, I pulled the numbers on ISIS. I was just curious because the current estimates for Mosul now is that there are 3,000 to 4,000 ISIS fighters still engaged in the area. And so, again, you might not know, why do we care? Why is this city important? It's the second largest city in all of Iraq, and ISIS has had at it since about halfway through 2014. So for 2 years, they've been pretty much camped there, calling it their headquarters, pretty much going, it's ours, come take it, and nobody's done it. Now that we've pretty much beat them out of most places that they have a big stronghold, that's where we've gone into next. So now we've all converged to Mosul, and we're seriously kicking ass and kicking names. And that's cool. I support that. That's awesome. There's 4,000 ISIS fighters, and that's a high estimate, left in Iraq. There's 30,000 in Syria. Maybe as high as 50 if the CIA is to be believed. That was their report. So we have a bunch of schoolyard bullies over here, but we're going to kick their butt. But we're not going to touch the standing army that ISIS has back here in Syria, or Russia's involvement, or stop Assad from dropping chemical bombs on his people. Oh, dude. Okay, so, and by the way, as a last-ditch thing, ISIS said, hey, we're about to get our butts kicked here. Let's skedaddle. So they started to. On the way out, they set fire to a sulfur mine, which pretty much poisoned the air for about 20 miles in any direction. And if the winds shift, like they're prone to this time of year in that particular part of the world, that poisonous noxious gas could take out an entire another city or two in Iraq. So more great things to think about. But speaking of gas, that made me think about it. Another reason why I don't understand why we are not literally mopping Assad's entrails off the sidewalk with a broom. The chemical weapons attacks that have gone on in Syria, I had no idea. I just started to do some research, and if you look up just the barrel bomb attacks. Now I'm gonna switch screens here. Bear with me. Boom. These are and Wikipedia is by no means the end-all be-all of research, but I just wanted to show you some of this. These are the barrel bomb attacks that the Syrian army, under Assad's control and with Putin's support, have dropped on their own people. January 2014, they just dropped some in Damascus. Now, let me back up a second. So you understand what I mean by barrel bomb. These are traditionally some sort of barrel. I know, sounds amazing, right? Imagine that. But picture a 55-gallon barrel. They pick it up, pack it full of shrapnel, unexplosive material, some nails. By the way, some poisonous gas like chlorine that they have tons of. Sulfur dioxide, hydrogen sulfide. They pack these things in containers, rig a bomb to it, strap it to the bottom of a helicopter or a plane, fly it over a civilian area, and cut the rope. And they fall into a civilian population and detonate. So let's go back and look. These are all the bomb attacks that Assad's troops have performed by month and year. I'm still in 2014, y'all. Let's go 2015, March, April, May, June. Let's just see. Killed at least 18 people in Tel Rafit. Killed 20 people in Aleppo. Killed 10 more in Tel Rafit. 4 days later, on the next day, killed 17 more. I mean, just dropping bombs out of helicopters on civilian populations. Let's go to 2016. Let's just see what's happened lately in September. Killed 3 and injured 20 in Aleppo on September 4th. A barrel bomb containing chlorine gas on September 6th killed at least 2 and injured 120 in the al-Sukari district of Aleppo. On September 7th, killed at least 20 people. On September 10th, killed 10 more. On September 18th, at least 10 more and injured many. On September 16th, killed 4 and injured 11. And on September 25th, I love this one here, killed at least 6 children in Aleppo. October 1st, barrel bomb struck the largest hospital in Aleppo. Between 4th and 9th, they got so many, they couldn't even bother to break them all down because there were more than 50 barrel bombs struck in and around the outskirts of a Palestinian refugee camp. Wow. And October 5th, a barrel bomb destroyed a Syrian civil defense center in Damascus where volunteers were injured. You drop bombs on your own people, you despicable piece of shit. And I said at that time with no regret, I'm sorry, that's a despicable human being that needs to die. Speaking of dying, the sniper of Mosul, have you guys heard about this dude? Don't know who he is. Could be special forces from the U.S., could be one of the Peshmerga troops, could be Iraqi special forces. We don't know. What we do know is the last couple of days, this guy, I'll say it again, this guy is going around in broad daylight and popping grapes on ISIS leaders. I mean, in broad daylight. No one's seen him. No one's found him. He's way off there in his little, hooch a mile away. I think it was a couple days ago, the most notorious one that's hit the news lately. An ISIS leader was standing there with a machete about to behead a kid. So they have the rope around his neck, I guess. He's tied up. He's about to cut this kid's head off. As he raises his hand to swing, the sniper of Mosul strikes and takes his head off right there in broad daylight in front of God and everybody. Let me say it again, in front of Allah and everybody. Kid still died. I mean, basically, ISIS forces just started firing guns in the air and ran like hell. The kid died as a result. But points for class, dude. I don't know who you are, and I'll probably never meet you. And if I did, you still couldn't tell me who you were. But since I can't buy you a beer, I don't even like beer, but I'm going to drink one tomorrow in your honor. In fact, on Saturday, we're all going to drink one in your honor. We're all going to raise one glass to the sniper of Mosul. So, thanks, dude. Don't know who you are, but keep up the good work, because apparently Obama's not going to, and Clinton's not going to, and I'm scared to think what Trump's going to do. So, what else sucks in the U.S. this week? Oh, yeah, today's news. Insurance. This one gets me, man. Obamacare. What a freaking epic failure. So, the news today pretty much says on November 1, of course, open enrollment starts again November the 1st. I got all my letters from Blue Cross and Blue Shield going, here's what's going to change, da-da-da-da. If you want to keep your same plan, you don't have to do anything, just keep paying the bill, which, by the way, is going to go up again. But, hey, let's not talk about that. On November 1st, premiums are expected to rise another 25% across the 39 states that are enrolled in the Affordable Health Care Act, the AHA. I'm just going to call it Obamacare because that's easier. But hey, this is what they say. Don't sweat it. Don't sweat it. Your premiums are going to rise. That's true. But most of the enrollees in Obamacare are subsidized. So don't worry. Your subsidies are going to go up too. We got you covered. I call bullshit. So let me explain to some of you that don't understand exactly how that works. And I can see John Ignacio trying to argue this with me right now. He's going to. You watch. He'll comment somewhere. John, you and I can debate this all day long on a live YouTube if you want to. But people that can't afford insurance that sign up for health care under Obamacare, they get a plan. And the government says, hey, you can't afford insurance, but you got to have it. So you pay this rate. Don't worry, we're going to subsidize it back to you and take away all but this amount of the bill. So here's your insurance bill, but we're going to pay like this much of it and just give you this top percent. So you're okay, relax. And people have signed up in droves. Some pay none, a lot pay none, but the majority pay some. So now they're freaking out. My insurance is going to go up from $40 a month to $44. Oh my God, what am I going to do? Don't worry, your subsidies are going to increase to match, so it's not going to hurt your pocketbook. Oh, thanks. That's awesome. You guys are great. The subsidized rate for 2016 were estimated to be $43 billion. That means out of the 19 million people that were covered, we paid for those 19 million people, give or take, $43 billion because they couldn't afford the insurance. So we said, you got to have it, but you don't have the money. So don't worry, we'll write this check. And when I say we, I'm speaking the collective we, the people who are actually paying this bill, because our government has no money. They take it from us. It's our money. And when Obamacare came, Obamacare came into effect, they literally reached into my pocket and took it in the biggest tax grab I've ever felt in my entire life. My butthole still hurts, and daily it hurts worse because of this. So if you take the 19 million people, give or take, that are enrolled in Obamacare currently for 2016, and divide that into the $43 billion a year that we pay on their behalf, that's about $2,263 per person that we're paying so they can have insurance. For every one of those people, someone else pays $2,267 a year to give another person they don't know insurance, because that person is required to have it by this guy over here, but he's not going to make them pay for it. He's going to make you pay for it, or me pay for it, or us pay for it. According to the HHS figures, which is the Department of Health and Human Services. Now, I did the math, and if you figure $2,263 a year per person divided by 12 months, that came out to $188 a person a month. But the HHS figure says $291 a month per person. That's what goes out in subsidies. Wait, so let me back that up. We pay $291 a month per person for every one of the 19 million people enrolled in Obamacare who couldn't afford their own damn insurance. Wow. Wait, it gets better. Douglas Holtz Egan, a prominent economist, I'm a quote him here. It's been a very mixed pattern because the enrollments haven't been what they expected, so it's not been as big of an impact financially. Now let that statement sink in first. The bad news is that spending per person is much higher than anticipated due to subsidy increases because of premium hikes. Well, freaking imagine that. Who the hell saw that coming? Wait, I did. I actually literally did. I did a video on it. I did a blog post about it. It's common sense. So let me explain this. I run an insurance company. I don't. But in this imaginary world, I take off my cowboy hat and put on an insurance guy hat, and that's what I'm doing. I have an insurance company, and I go, I can afford to pay or to give you coverage and you coverage and you coverage. And you, dude, you're a walking healthcare disaster waiting to happen. I'm sorry, I'm just not going to give you coverage for free. Or if so, it's going to cost you more because you got, gonosyphilis, you got one leg, your prostate's hanging out, you're just not good. You got cancer of the face, You're not going. No, I mean, why would I voluntarily take you on when I know you're going to cost me $2 million the first year? That's stupid. I'm not saying that the world shouldn't be a better place. I'm just saying this is one we actually live in. So the government comes along and goes, "Hey, that's not nice. You take care of gonorrhea, herpetitis, cancer face guy with prostate butt. All right, you cover that dude. Okay, but the only way I can cover him, because he's going to chew up $2 million a year in insurance costs, is to raise the price on all these folks over here. So all 10 of y'all, your premiums are going up to pay for this guy." We all knew that. This is where it gets surprising. People are appalled that insurance rates are going up. Of course they're going up. The subsidies are going up. And the insurance rates are going up accordingly. The insurance companies aren't drawing a profit. I mean, I don't even like the insurance companies, but let's be honest, forcing them to cover, because the U.S. government's goal is 90% coverage. They want 90% of America to be covered. We have 350 million people in this country. They want to mandate that 90% of them, so I'm going to do the math real quick, 280 million of those people are going to have coverage by somebody. It's going to be you or you or you company. You have to give it to them. And insurance companies went, okay, fine. Let's try this. This is a stupid idea, but let's just try it. And they did. And it sucked. And people like me who don't use our insurance, we're average people. My wife may use hers twice a year, maybe for a discount if she goes to get her glasses prescription changed. But we're average people with average health. I'm not crazy, not special, nothing fancy about me or my family. We're your average Joes who at some point in time had chosen not to have insurance on all of us, or have the plan that we would love to have because we can't afford it. But hey, now we got to. So, okay. I've had insurance now through Blue Cross Blue Shield for 2 years. I'm ending my second year this year, or next month. The first year, it was almost $400 a month. It's like $383 a month. I had a $5,000 deductible. So again, I like numbers. $350 a month times 12. Well, that's 3 times 12 is $3,600 a year. Plus 50 times 12, so $4,200 a year for me to have insurance, and a $5,000 deductible. That means my insurance actually cost me $9,600 a year before I actually get $1 of coverage. Thanks, appreciate that. I'm required to pay the first $4,500 a year. And by the way, just to have the privilege to walk in the door, but if I want to actually use it, I got to spend another $5,000 out of my pocket first. Thanks. Sign me up for that, asshole. So then I get a letter at the beginning of this year's, this 2016's renewal. Hey, by the way, your out of network costs. So if you have to go to a doctor that's not in your area, because I travel, and so let's say you get hurt, your out of network costs are going to go up 200%. I mean, not like a blatant, hey, we're going to adjust this 5%. Nope. We're going to stick it to you for twice. Dirtbag. Nothing you can do about it. Wow. Oh, and by the way, your premiums, I know they were $350. Now they're going to be $480 a month. So that's like another 25% increase, but don't sweat it. Oh, yeah, and that deductible, it's now $6,500. So my insurance cost me $6,000 a year to possess it, and not use it, just to possess it. Cost me another $6,500 before I get one dime of coverage that actually does anything. That's $12,501 I have to have before I actually get any benefit from actual insurance. So, yay, I'm fully insured. I have every insurance that you can Imagine, I just got to have another 6.5 grand in my pocket, ready to go spend, before I can take advantage of the policy for shit. Thank you for that. Then I get a letter last week, 2 weeks ago now, and I can scan this and put it up and show it to you, saying, "Oh, by the way, you're out of coverage. I'm sorry, your out of network coverage is going to go up. I know. 400%. I'm sorry. Yes, I said it right. 400%. You should have been so ashamed to say that you didn't even want to have it seen in print. You should have just called everybody and been like, by the way, your shit's about to go high. And not ever bother to put that in print, because I scanned it to save it just to go, wow. So if I have to go to a doctor that's not one of the 3 that you cover, for whatever reason I might need to, that bill is going to be quadruple. Which means, you know what? I only got to have $26,000 out of pocket. It's okay before I can get any coverage. Yeah, thank you. Appreciate that. So that's my personal story. So let me back up to where we are now. So they say it's been a mixed pattern, and it's been hard to predict because the enrollments haven't been as high as they expected. So it's not been that big of a hit financially. My 200% increase last year, and 400% increase this year, and 30% premium hike last year, and I could expect another premium hike this year, and reduction in benefits are all because it has not been a big financial impact on the insurance companies? That's your opinion? Are you stupid? The bad news is the spending per person is much higher than anticipated due to subsidy increases because of premium hikes. Well, guess what? Premium hikes are going up again in, count them with me, 6 days. They go up again, which means subsidies go up again, which means in addition to your own premium hike, which mine has already jumped 25-30%, you're currently paying around $291 a month for someone else to get coverage. That's going to climb too. Well, who pays that bill? In case you're curious, the government doesn't have a checking account that they invest in the stock market and get a shitload of interest on, because we have no money. We're in debt. The government's in way worse debt than I am and have ever been. In fact, I should be the leading economist. At least I can pay my mortgage. We can't even pay our national mortgage, but that's such a whole other argument. So, what the reason all this looks good is because the American people as a whole are too stupid to look underneath the hood. So why were the enrollment figures not as high as anticipated? Well, I mean, I'm glad the numbers were low, but why were they low? Did anybody think to ask that question? They were low because while they're at it, in 2014, Obamacare worked in this whole thing going, hey, don't worry, we're going to raise the Medicaid qualification to 133 to 138% of its actual supposed to be figure, and we're going to cover all those people under Medicaid. So basically, if you make $16,240 a year or less, which is about $8.12 an hour, someone's going to argue that. Do the math. I dare you. That's what you come out with, based on a 40-hour work week. So if you make less than $16,240 a year, well, that's the federal poverty line. Actually, no, that's the adjusted 133% figure. Yeah. So if you make less than $16,243 a year taxable, then we're just going to cover your insurance under Medicaid. Don't worry about it. You don't have to have Obamacare. You're too poor. So we're going to give you this whole other thing, and that'll make the Obamacare numbers look great. Except, who the hell do you think pays for Medicaid, stupid? You do. I do. Again, our government has no money except what they take from us. And I'm okay paying taxes. I'm just not okay paying everybody else's taxes. That's not cool. So Medicaid basically agreed to adjust its level by 33% just to take in the people the insurance companies didn't want, because that's exactly what happened. The insurance companies said, we are not doing these people. Here we're fine, here we're fine, here we're fine, but down here, we're not going to do those. The government said, fine. We'll raise the Medicaid threshold to 133% of the federal poverty line, and we'll cover those. And then insurance companies went, oh, all right then. So premiums are going up. More people are being covered by Medicaid, which I'm not against the concept of. I'm just saying you're paying for it and I'm paying for it. My premiums are going up. Medicaid's going up. I'm paying for both of these. Premium hikes for enrolled people are going up. I'm paying for that too. And guess what? How much is this going to cost the average person? Here's what's great. The Republican committee got together and asked that question, decided, hey, I want to know exactly how much money this is going to cost. You better tell me that right now. I want to know. That was my hillbilly Republican accent. Did that come through good? I want to know. Fine. When do you want to know? I want to know by November 7th. How's that sound? Thanks, bruh. You'll get the memo for what's going to happen a day before the election. That's not going to screw up the news cycle at all. I'm saying not in the least. I can see the November 7th, 11th hour news cycle right now. It's going to be pure Obamacare. So Medicaid sucks. Insurance sucks. Premiums are going to go up. Benefits are going to go down. Out-of-network costs are going to double, triple, or quadruple if you're me. What about the insurance companies? I mean, how are they sitting in all this? Almost every single insurance company in the United States lost money the first year of Affordable Care. I don't mean they didn't really draw a profit. I mean, they actually physically went in the hole and lost money. They had to report back to people, hey, we ain't got no money. In fact, we lost some. We lost like 10% over what we put it. We ain't got. Can we borrow a loan to keep the lights on? Because I got this x-ray machine back here that really got to work. And so in 2015, they really started to readjust. In 2016, they readjusted more. As of 6 days from now, when open enrollment opens up, I'm not sure if it's actually November 1st or if it's going to be like January 1 premium date. But as of 2017, there are three major insurance companies in the United States: Aetna, United Healthcare, and Humana. That's the three big boys. Aetna is pulling out of 11 of the 15 states that they offer coverage in the healthcare exchange. Wow. Do the math. I'll wait for you. 75% of the states that even have them as an option won't next month. Dang. United Healthcare. They're going to be offering coverage in a whopping total of 3 states in the United States next year. Dude, why bother? I mean, seriously. Just don't even, I mean, just close your doors. Just stop. Don't do it. Humana, dropping out of 8 more states and 1,200 counties. The 3 big boys are backing away. In November 2014, 30% of insurance companies made a profit after ACA kicked in at all. In 2015, it dropped 5 more percent to 25. And we don't have the figures yet for 2016, but we know based on the fact that insurance premiums are going to be hiked and benefits are being dropped, that the numbers probably will be worse. My guess, it's going to be another 10% change to like 15%. Although, then again, it should be skewed because the amount of insurance companies that actually drop out of the program totally are going to go up. So there won't be that many folks left. And if there's only like one company left, they got to draw a profit, right? That's where we are at this week. That's just this week. Holy crap, y'all. That's a messed up place to be. Hashtag first world problems, right? I don't know. I don't know what the country's going to be like a year from now. I really don't. We won't fight for the people in the world that need our help and ask for it. We do want to stick our nose in all the places it's not necessarily needed or wanted, but we won't fight for the ones that are begging for their lives, literally begging for their actual lives, for the right to exist. We're taxing the hell out of our own people to the point that I mean, it's just a joke. Our insurance platform is a horrible example of failed social economics and social responsibility, which everyone who ever believed in the capitalist system pretty much said was going to fail in the first place. It has. It's going to. I mean, it's imploding month by month by month. And I'm sorry, you can argue it all you want. You're wrong. There is no argument that ACA or Obamacare is or AHA or Obamacare is working. None. It's not one. It's not working. 19 million people have insurance. Great. The other 330 million are paying for it. That's not a win, asshole. And by the way, even the companies you forced into taking it are backing out, going, we just can't do this anymore. I'm sorry, we ain't got no money, man. No, we're not going to do it. That's just this week's news cycle. How long have I been talking? 51 minutes. You let it go on for 51 freaking minutes. It's 1:45 in the morning. You should be ashamed of yourself. You should be in bed. Why aren't you in bed? It's probably not 1:45 where you are. It's 1:45 where I am. I should be in bed because I'm old and gray. And I got told last night my white beard makes me look cute. My wife said, oh, I like that. It's cute. Thanks. Makes me look old. That's because I'm old. I'm 39, by the way. You might as well call it 40. People ask me all the time in general conversation, you know, how old are you or something? And I go, I'm 30. And then I do math in my head. It's 2016. My birthday's already passed. Minus 1977 equals, I'm 39. Good thing is if I'm good at mathematics because I'm not good at remembering how old I am, which is another sign I'm just getting older. So I'm 40. What else do I have scheduled this week for YouTube? I have no idea. I hope I got more stuff coming. We do have a big old Halloween party coming up this weekend, after which these ridiculous lights you see over my head will go away. These are not my man cave disco lights, okay? These are the Halloween party pre-prep lights. So look, y'all have a great night. I'm sorry that our country's in crappy shape. All I can do is say, hang in there. Put your boots on every day like everybody else. Go back to work and try to help make it a better place. I mean, that's all you can do. Be better people. Our politicians aren't going to change. We can. Here's my word of wisdom for the night. Have a good day, y'all.